Before we jump into the episode, I want to talk to you about Drops and Collect by Soul Savvy. With Drops and Collect, you're able to stay ahead of the game. Using Drops, you can enter raffles and set alerts for any and all restocks, and it will help you never miss a release ever again. And after you cop some fresh kicks, use Collect to manage your collection. I'm still in the process of adding my kicks to Collect. But what's really cool about Collect is you can also make trades with other current users of Collect. And if you're a member, there's no fees. But if you aren't a member, don't worry about it. You just have to pay a flat rate of $8 per trade. Now, how do you get these apps? Just use the links in the description of this podcast. Download these apps and grow your collection by helping this podcast at the same time. That's right. Use the links in the description and start expanding your collection today. Hey, Jackie, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you.
Yo, shout out to Janine, aka Sneaker Vibes Only, for showing me your page. She recommended you. Like every time I have somebody on, I always ask them, who would you recommend to be on the podcast to talk sneakers with me? And she hit me up. She was like, "This would be a perfect guest." And I was so yeah.
I love Jay so much. That is my soul sister for real. Shout out to Jay.
Shout out to her. She like recently reached a milestone too, right? She's like a licensed counselor now.
Yes. Yeah, she's doing all of the things. All of them.
So big up to her. I can't wait to see where else she goes. Yeah. Soon psychologist of the stars.
Oh man.
But for people who aren't familiar with you, how about you introduce yourself and let them know where to find you?
Sure. So I go by Jackie E, also Tubby. I'm a former Division I hooper, media personality, and content creator based in New Jersey and New York. We go back and forth.
Tri-state.
Tri-state.
Yeah, that's wild. Division I. I mean, I gave up on my aspirations very early. So
no, you didn't.
I did. I mean, listen, some of us are not built for practice. I think like when you, especially because like I played a lot of basketball. Like I still play basketball now. I've gotten to surgery because of basketball. So what really, like, the problem is, like, with me, I think, is like when you realize you're a natural at something.
Yeah.
That like you're like, oh, I don't really got to put in the time. I'll be good. And then the problem is like when you're a kid and you're bigger than everybody else, that you're like, all right, I'm beating everybody. Like, no, but there's kids that are like working on their dribble, and then So yeah.
So wait, you're naturally gifted at basketball? Is that what you're saying?
I mean, sure. Not anymore, but sure. I would say, I mean, listen, I will tell my friends, I would be like, I'm just a gifted athlete. I could pick up anything. Yeah.
I love the confidence. Okay.
Listen, you give me an hour with any sport, I'll be really good at it. So yeah.
Wow, that is a statement. That is a statement, right? Wait, so what position did you? I have to know. What position did you play?
So I'm only 6 feet. So like the problem was I shot up so early that I was the center in every team that I played with. Like, and so until like I got to middle school, and then when I tried out for the team, I was positioned as a forward, but it was a small forward because the middle school I went to had these two, like, we literally used to call them the Twin Towers. They were like, one kid was like, I mean, at the time I'm thinking like maybe I was like 5'6", 5'7", or something like that. So like there was a kid that was like 5'8", and then there was another kid that was 6, and I was like, damn, I'm used to like, like they're just like, all right, just dump the ball at Hassan and he'll just score on the bottom. That's what we would get trophies off of that. Like it was just me, just no work on dribbling, no nothing. And so like I get to middle school and I try out for the team, and they're like, wow, you don't have any handles at all. So like, what position can you play? And I'm like, I can play center. And then they're like, no, we already got the backup center and a center, but we're gonna put them as the power forwards, and they're already towering over you, so it's no point. Like, so yeah, it was not fun.
That's crazy. So wait, you don't have handles?
So over quarantine I worked on my handles, but I still don't have a left. I tried. You ever used what's there was an app that like they gave it for free on during the quarantine
Is it
where
called
it
Dribble Up?
is it Dribble Up? I think Dribble Up is the one with the yellow ball, right?
Yes, 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 yes,
It
yes.
could be that. And it's like you would just like you put the phone down and then
Yeah.
you would dribble and it would you would have to hit the buttons and the little yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. So I was doing that all quarantine. I still don't have it left though. But I can
So,
I did pick up like the Steve Nash layups, you know, where
okay.
I picked those up. So yeah.
So now we're talking basketball. Like now you're talking throwback basketball. You said Steve Nash. Like
Yeah.
we're not talking about like the youngins. Steve Nash? I
Yeah.
like the conversation.
Oh man, but all right, I'm a hard pivot so that we can jump back into this after. But let me ask the
It's fine.
question that I ask everybody
Okay.
each week, and that question is, what's your first kicks? What's that first pair of sneakers you absolutely needed to have?
The first pair of kicks that I absolutely needed to have were the Cardinal Sevens that came out in 2006. I have them right here.
Hmm.
Still looking pretty good, if
Yeah.
I could say so myself. Story behind these. I heard that they were coming out and I reached out to my uncle. I was like, yo, I gotta go down to Jersey Gardens and cop them because I think all of the local malls ran out. So I was like,
Hmm.
take me to Jersey Gardens, which is farther away from where I was, and let's go. So funny thing is, I didn't know how much they cost. And so I was like, when I saw the price, I was shocked.
Hmm.
Like I was like $150. And at this point, I think that I was like a freshman in high school.
$150 for like a size
I
5?
wear a size 8.5.
Oh, okay.
8.5 men
Yeah.
and women's, I wear a size 10.
Okay, okay, okay.
So I had like bigger feet, whatever.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, and I thought that I was really spending too much at that time, which in my mind, if you're a freshman in high school, that's a lot of money. You don't
Oh
got,
yeah.
got a job. My job was playing basketball at the time. So yeah, so I was like, I had to have them. So I was able to like collect some allowance money, put stuff together,
Mhm.
and I got them, and I've had them ever since.
That's so dope. I love that. Let's talk a little bit about the shoe for the listeners who are listening. And I don't know why I said that, but let's go with that. Originally released in 1992, Jordan Brand honored the Cardinal colorway of the Air Jordan 7 with a retro in 2006, an identical reissue of the classic model. The Air Jordan 7 Retro Cardinal 2006 features a white tumbled leather upper with cardinal red accents on the midsole plugs, tongue lining, and heel. The sneaker also sports bronze details on the Jumpman logo and heel pull tab. So this shoe, I mean, listen, the recent re-release, right?
Yeah,
Like I don't know why it didn't go anywhere, but
I didn't
listen,
like.
what's the what? Okay, so then what's the difference? Why you didn't like that
For
one?
me, I don't know. I think because I fell in love with these so much, like I saw the difference. Like this wasn't as wide. This was a little bit thinner. Like
Mhm.
every like it was similar and it looked identical, but since I've had this for so long, like I could tell the difference. And I was just like, I just like the ones I have.
I'm just glad you're able to still have that shoe now because that sole it's known for cracking immediately.
Yes, and glad no cracks here. Maybe some pebbles, but no cracks.
You never played ball in those?
No,
These were
no. I,
the everyday shoes.
these are the we styling these to go outside shoes.
Hmm.
I wasn't no. For me, these were too heavy.
Hmm.
I like lighter shoes to play ball in, so I was never playing these.
What were you playing ball in back in the day?
So back in the day, I
Uh,
played ball in Adidas Pro Models.
okay, okay.
I also played in
Was that
what else?
the school shoe?
The school shoe.
The
What do you mean?
team shoe? The team shoe?
So I saw them. So, well, technically, when I played AAU, that was the shoe for AAU, and then
Hmm.
I brought it to my high school, and then my high school was like, "Oh my God, we love these!" So then everybody in my high school got them, and so then it became a team shoe.
Hmm. That's fire.
Yeah,
That's fire. The
yeah.
So then, like, did you only have just the team color, or did you like you just adopted them? And you were like, let's keep them going.
So, I mean, just for that year, I think that was
Mhm.
my junior year. For that year, we just we did like the black patent leather. So
Nice.
we did those, and then we could change. I don't know if you remember on the Pro model, you can change the Adidas, like the stripes, the color of the stripes.
No, I did not. Let me look that up.
I'm
That is
an
wild.
old head.
No, we here. We here. We here. The were they high tops?
Yes, because they did cover our ankles. Not like super high, maybe mid, not super high.
Okay, okay. Not the two Gs.
I don't think they were the two Gs.
You're because like I'm looking at the ones
I
like
wish I stayed free.
my bad. Because like I'm looking. Okay, so pro model OGs, like
Okay.
they're like they look like the shell toe, but no
Yes,
shell. Oh
I was
wait, I
gonna.
think it does have shells.
They
Yeah,
have like a show at the.
yeah, yeah. And then yeah, they're like they're ankle height for sure. But
Hmm.
I don't know if you could change out the colors on these, the stripes.
We could, and we was hyped. We was like, "Oh, we're gonna do this color today. We're gonna do that color."
Damn, that's wild.
It was wild for sure.
What was high school like for you? Like, were you one of the trendiest? Were you ahead of the game? What was it like?
In terms of what, sneakers or like fashion or playing.
Well, well, if you want to touch all three, we could touch all three.
In high school, my sophomore, junior, and senior year, I was like captain and stuff. I ended up scoring over 1,000 points in my career, which was a milestone. It was a blessing for sure. Uh,
Whoa.
but in terms of like sneakers, like all of my teammates were sneakerheads. So we were
Oh.
always talking about releases. We were always talking about, so what store are you going to get these? If you go here, then I'm gonna go here and make sure they're here. Like we were strategizing, talking about it. Like I loved my teammates in high school and in college.
That's
So
sick. So like did they get you into sneakers like this into the sneaker collecting and the sneaker community?
funny thing is, like, well, not funny thing is, but
Mhm.
basketball and sneaker culture they go hand in hand.
Right.
Like you can't have one without the other.
Hmm.
And I think me being a ball player, growing up in a basketball family, and my brother and my uncle, the one that I asked to take me to Jersey Gardens, he's
Hmm.
the one, whatever. But my brother was a big, big inspiration for me because he always had the flyest J's.
Hmm.
He always had the flyest J's. And I remember in second grade, my dad took me and my older brother to the sneaker store, and we both got the Indiglo 14s.
Mm.
That had to be in, what year was that? 2000 something,
Let's see.
something like that.
And
But yeah,
is that in the glow 14s?
Indiglo. They're black, and they have like a neon green
Oh
in
yeah,
the.
yeah. These 2000 2016 they got retroed. So
Mhm.
you're saying you got I mean, did you get the original release which came out in 1999?
Yes,
Okay,
99.
okay.
Hmm.
I don't know if
And
you've
I was,
seen the video of that dude showing his all his like old sneakers in his storage.
no.
This is one of the shoes in there.
Oh, snap.
It recently went viral.
I wish that I could get them back. I wish, but yeah, that's one of the that was the moment that
Hmm.
kind of started it for me. Like I got to have matching sneakers with my older brother, and ever since then, I tried. You can only do so much on an allowance.
Yeah.
So I tried, and then once I got to, high school, like senior year, college, after college,
Hmm.
that's when I started really, really collecting.
The once you got to that point where you did you get like your first job and collect it? I mean, well, I mean, that's got to be tough if you're balling and then also have a job. So like, yeah, what was your process?
Yeah, so I didn't like work, although I expressed interest, like I wanted to work at Foot Locker, I wanted to work at Finish Line, I wanted to do all those things. And my parents, they were like, girl, you can work the rest of your life. Focus on playing basketball right now
Hmm.
and see where that goes. So I didn't really get like my first job until college, and I worked a summer camp. So that was my first job. But
Hmm.
then you still need that money to survive. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I had to wait even until after that. And like for Christmas, like my birthday is around Christmas. So the people who know me, they would buy me gift cards or they would gift me sneakers. So then that's kind of like how I was building my collection because they were like, what kind of sneakers do you want? Like, what's your size again?
Hmm.
So that's how I kind of work the system.
No, yeah, that's dope. Did you ever do like a lineup or like did you? I mean, I wouldn't. I mean, I don't like asking the people. I mean, I do like asking for like camp out stories, but did you ever
Uh-huh.
camp out?
I did not. I never camped out. And I think that was because I think that I would just get irritated and irritable. And I feel like the people who camped out at one point or another, they were irritated. And then that's how fights broke out. And all of these things happened. And I was just like, I don't want the smoke today. I would just like have J's and go home. Like I don't want the smoke.
No, I mean, I've never. I know. I had a friend that used to go because, like, when I first got into sneakers big time, right? It
Yeah.
was all SBs. So, like, me and my
Mm.
friend, he would always be like, "Yeah, man, I'm going to Jersey. You want to come?" And I'm like, "I'm not going to sleep outside in Jersey for a pair of sneakers. I'm not doing that." And so it's like like because like I know how bad New York is, and to go to like I feel like Jersey's a lot more grittier when it comes to being like, nah, I'm getting those shoes. Like I don't want to deal with that.
Yeah, we have our moments depending on where in Jersey you go. We definitely
Mhm.
have our moments.
what 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 areas in Jersey I should be like wary about if I'm gonna go there and try to get some sneakers.
Some cities in Essex County,
Hmm.
some cities in Passaic County, some if you go all the way down to like the Camden area by Atlantic City. There are some areas. Just
Man,
keep your
Atlantic
head on the
City is yeah, for real. Atlantic City. I mean, Atlantic City is like you go to the boardwalk and it's like you're like, where are we? Like you walk past a certain point, you go like, where are we again? Yeah, like
road.
or like because like I would take the bus. I went there before the pandemic to go see my boy do comedy. And so
Yeah.
like I go down there and I hop on the bus and I hop off the bus. But like I didn't know where he was staying at the time. And
Mhm.
no, it wasn't that. He told me where he was staying, but he told
Right.
me he needed a pipe. He needed a weed pipe. So he was
Mhm.
just like, "Yo, just can you grab me one on the way?" And
Right.
then I go and I get off. So I get off. I usually you get off at the casino, but
Right.
like you usually just walk through the casino and get out, right? And you end up on the boardwalk. I did the opposite. I walked through the casino and then got out the other side, like the cross streets. And so
Yeah, yeah.
I'm like, man, this is totally different. Like, just people just slump walk. Like, it was just like zombies on the street. It was crazy. I've never felt more unsafe in my life. the, but the, I've heard that the Nike outlet there has some gems. You can be like, because like a lot of people aren't looking to go there. So like you'd go there. I remember, I think somebody said, or I saw it on Instagram that somebody went to that Nike outlet and got the off white like a pair of off white hyper dunks there at one time. And I was like, I couldn't do it,
When
man.
I tell you people sleep on the Nike factory, the outlet store, they sleep. Like
Hmm.
so many gems are in there and they're at a discounted rate. Like it's a beautiful combination.
Hmm.
It makes me so I think there's one like not too far from where I used to live
Hmm.
and I used to go in there all the time. Just walk in the aisle, see if I saw anything. I've seen ones, dunks, um, sixes,
Hmm.
fives, just everything. So highly recommend. Go
Highly
to a
recommend.
Nike store near you.
uh, the one thing I don't like though is when they rip the tops off. I'll be like, oh man, these are dope, and then they look at you, and be like, no, give me the top, man.
Right. So are you a shoebox person or are you a clear box
I'm
person?
a shoebox person.
You're a shoebox person.
Hmm.
Okay.
What about you?
Okay. I'm a little bit of both.
Hmm.
I'm a little bit of both. And I would say, because there are some boxes that I love.
Yeah.
Like I love the design of like the Titan 2s that came out. I
Hmm.
have them here too.
Okay.
These
Nice. Yeah.
the, the box that this came in,
Hmm.
I'm keeping it. Keeping it.
I was with my boy and his brother has those. And I was like, so like I kept every single time I kept looking, I was like, man, I can't believe I slept on these because those are really nice. I was talking about those with Sean Collard, who's like a
Mhm.
big twos guy on
Yeah, yeah,
Instagram.
yeah.
Yeah, so like his
Yeah.
his his episode is like 2 weeks before this one drops. So like
Mhm.
he I was telling him about like what Tuesday likes, and then the Titans came in my head. I'm like, man, and then the storytelling behind that, and then you learn about the South African shop, and I was like, this is dope.
But when I tell like this is the shoe that made me love twos. Like I did
Mhm.
not like twos, and I have this whole story time on Instagram that's on my feed. So if you're watching, go check it out.
Definitely check it
But
out.
but I didn't like twos prior to this sneaker. I did
Hmm.
not like twos at all. Like just the silhouette didn't stand out to me. Like the different colorways that I saw, they didn't really hit. And I'm a huge fan of orange and green. Like I
Hmm.
love orange and green, two of my favorite colors. And I saw this, and then I saw the design, and then like the history and the story behind it was, a designer honoring her grandfather who played for the Filipino national team. Like
Hmm.
it's insane. And so I had to get them.
I really love when a shoe, like the story of a shoe, comes across because, like, I mean, like, listen, I've gotten to weird arguments about Alma Manir or Alma Maneries as somebody else has called them. but shout out Rob Hayes. He says he's from Atlanta. He says it's called Alma Maneries, and I was just like, all right, you're from Atlanta. I'll let you have it.
Oh, because I thought it was Ama Manier.
I thought it was Alma Manir too. So I like a lot of people are saying, or not a lot of people, just like I've had conversations on Twitter about like, oh, Alma Manir kind of takes like the same colors and like doesn't real they like all they're doing is just plastering the same colors on different models. And I was just like, I like the way that they roll out the sneaker makes you love the sneaker more, and it's hard for me to be like, yeah, man, you're right, like when I don't feel that. I think a lot of people who are in the sneaker game or the sneaker culture kind of like take it as like uh it's like, oh, if a brand is trying to get this message across, or they're using like colors, that they're being lazy. And I was like, man, y'all like, yeah, I don't get it.
They, they chatting. That's what's happening. Because there's a lot that goes into the Ama Manier like franchise, the whole thing. Like there's so much. There's so many stories. There's so much intentionality, and even just honoring Black women and
Mhm.
just all of that. It's very big. So yeah, it's more than the colors.
I know, yeah. Even with like social status too, because he's like James Whitner would like take in the time to show you like when the whole recess penny twos, that whole rollout for the
Right.
recess penny twos, I was like, man, I'm in. Like, you know, uh just like the idea of like you only have play shoes and school shoes. You can't mess up you can't do this with your play shoes. You got to do this with your school shoes. Like I was just like, I'm in. And then I thought I won both pairs. I thought I won both colorways. So I sent one colorway to my boy. He paid for them, and I was just like, all right. And then the colorway I wanted, the bone colorway, was gonna come to me. They canceled my order, and he got his, and I was mad upset. I was like, what? They didn't
Wow.
they didn't want
I'm
to.
sorry.
No, it's all good. They didn't want me to have it. It's all right. I got my money back.
Yeah, and shout out to Ama Manier and Social Status, and my friend Key, who you should also have on the show. She
Mhm.
Can Sneaks. I don't know if you ever heard of her, but we'll talk later.
Yeah, we'll talk later.
They
Because I'm trying
actually,
to think.
yeah, they gifted me my first pair of 12s.
Oh,
The
nice.
12s that just came out, the white and burgundy.
Hmm.
So I have to shout out Ama Manier and Social Status and everybody, that whole team, because those 12s are immaculate.
Yeah. Those, I mean, I passed. I mean, it's another story with that one too. It's a similar story. I bought them, I bought them, but because I had my boy's address in from when I sent him the order for the twos, the penny twos, that my 12s went to his house in Cali. And so and so I told this on another podcast that I was on, and so I was just like, his birthday was around, and I was just like, man, it's yours. Like, here you go. Happy birthday. And so he was the co-host of this podcast. So the thing is,
Okay.
yeah, so the thing is he bought me one of my grails and he has them in his house. So I was just like, okay, man, I feel like I owe you. He bought me sneakers for my birthday a couple of years ago, and he bought me grails, my grails that I spoke about it on this podcast, and I was just like, all right, man, you can have. He's like, you like them? I was like, you like them? And he's like, yeah. And I was just like, they're yours. And I was like, happy birthday. There you go.
I love that, like that friendship you have with him.
Nah,
You
yeah,
like
he's
him,
dope.
you have him.
Yeah,
You buy
yeah.
me girls for my birthday, you have mine. It's fine.
Yeah, I mean, but what got you into? Well, no, I still want to talk about D1. How did you? What was like the competition? My main thing, right? Because like I've played against D1, D3 players before, and the there's like an aura when you can tell like, oh, because like the I'll tell you this one time. So I had ankle surgery, and
Okay.
I was doing rehab, right? And Donovan Mitchell was like in doing rehab with me in that area. He was doing a concussion test, and it's like,
Okay.
but like the presence of like, oh yeah, this guy is like, this guy is the real deal. Like you feel it in the room. So like, I mean,
Yeah.
you were considered that the real deal at one point, like, or maybe still are. My bad. I don't know. I don't want to downplay you, but
No, I'm
but
retired. You're fine. I retired. I retired.
but what was that like? What's that competition like? And are you still competitive like that?
Well, the competitive nature is still there,
Hmm.
100%. I don't think that's ever going away. Like I've been an athlete since I was in the womb.
Hmm.
So I don't think that's ever going away. But the competition was definitely up there. I went to a mid-major school. I went to Iona University, and then I transferred and went to Hampton University,
Hmm.
which is an HBCU down in
Hmm.
Virginia. And in our like preseason like play, we played the big teams. We played the Dukes. We played the UNCs. We played like ACC teams and the big dogs.
Yeah,
So the competition is always my teammates were some of the best players in the country. And we played against them every day in practice and we competed and we competed. And we made each other better. So
that's wild. You ever did you go? Nah, I got better sneakers than you. I don't know what kind of trash talker you are. So just like, just like, nah, you gotta see my closet.
that's the thing. I wasn't the player who was the trash talker. Like if I got
Hmm.
very upset, like if somebody really, really was on me like that, then that might come out. But I'm very chill. I go about do my business, do what I gotta do, and that's it. But I'm still competitive though. Like I'm going
Hmm.
to compete. I'm just not gonna trash talk.
You clock in and you clock in, you clock out. I see it.
Clock out. It does clock out.
Some of these people take it home with them after that.
Right. Yeah. And some you can't, I mean, you can't do, you gotta leave it all on the floor. You can't take it home. You got
Hmm.
other stuff to deal with. You gotta deal with work and studying and doing
Hmm.
all those things. Like you can't bring it home. So.
I mean, it's wild. So then the switch to like content creating stuff like that. What made you want to jump into that?
So, I went to school for television and film,
Hmm.
in college, and I did a few internships. I did an internship with the New York Giants, and I also did an internship with the television show The View that's on ABC.
Hmm.
And when I did the television show The View, like the internship with them, it was just like there was a light bulb for me that went off, and I was like, I want to do this. Like, I want to be on television. I want to host. I want to do this. Like, I want to be on camera because when I worked with the Giants, I did a lot of behind the scenes. Like, I did a lot of like stuff running and stuff during training camp and stuff where nobody really sees.
Hmm.
So when I did that internship, I was like, this is what I want to do. And so after I finished those internships, it was hard to land a job. And I feel like after you graduate college, sometimes it's hard to get a job right
Oh
away
yeah. Oh
because you
yeah.
technically experience,
Mm-hmm.
you know? So when that was happening for me, I was like, let me create my own stuff. So I started with a YouTube channel and I started putting stuff out there. Then Instagram started like picking up,
Mm-hmm.
and like it went from photos to videos.
Mm-hmm.
And so then I was just like, you know what? Let me just start putting out stuff. And then I had to, find my way back to my first love because I ventured into doing like makeup and all that stuff, which I can still do, but it's not like where my heart is and where my passion is. So I was like,
Mm-hmm.
let me start creating some content around sneakers because that's what I love. So that's what happened.
I love that. I love that. It definitely takes like a long way to figure out what you want. I mean, like, listen, I'm old. I'm 30, about to be 35, and I was like, I started this podcast during the pandemic.
Oh,
That's old. It's old. It's old. It's old to me myself. I
okay.
feel old.
Okay.
Listen, I
Okay.
started. I started working at 18, and I went to school and work. So I think I aged double because I did that. Like,
Oh,
school,
put
school.
in work. That's a lot.
Yeah, I'd go to work at 7 a.m. and then I'd stop at 3, and then from there I'd go to school from 4 to 9, and then yeah, so I did that for like 3 years straight.
Where did you go?
I went to City Tech. It was bad. It's not a good school.
Say it's a bad school.
I didn't say it's a bad
I
school. I
bet you
just said
learned
it's
a
like
lot.
I in the process of going there, I taught myself a lot of things. The most I learned there was just how to network. I think, which is I feel like what school is really about. Just like, getting to learn how to talk to professors who've been in the industry and then try to work your way in it. And you gotta like, and then if you do good in school or do good in their grades, you start like in a grade in their class, they start noticing you and start recommending you for stuff. Like, so yeah,
Wow.
so
But
yeah.
I feel like that's so valuable, learning how to network, because
Hmm.
that's an art. Like people don't realize like it's an art to network, to start a conversation with somebody you don't know. Like, are
Hmm.
you an extrovert or an introvert or an ambivert?
Oh, what's an ambivert? That's the first time I've ever heard of ambivert.
Oh my God, for real?
Yeah.
I'll break it down for you.
Yeah.
So, the extrovert is like the super outgoing person who can
Hmm.
talk to a can of paint or the wall.
Hmm.
The introvert is somebody who needs to recharge, likes being by themselves, blah, blah.
Hmm.
The ambivert is in the middle, somebody who's a little bit of both. And that's me.
That's me.
Hi, that's you?
That's me because like I'll tell you, I'll give you an example. Like I did a ton of stuff this one week. Like
Yeah.
I'm in like a music video. I did like a podcast. I did like uh I did my podcast. I did somebody else's podcast, and then I also went to a comedy show. I hung out and I was out for like 4 days, and then the next week I was like, I need to just stop. Like I can't do this. So yeah.
No, I'm the same way when I go to like events back to back to back where I'm surrounded by people for long amounts of time.
Hmm.
I need to, like, my social battery will die on site. Like my whole face will just, and I'm like done. I need to go recharge. So I understand what you're saying.
That's funny because, like, I mean, I was talking because my boy, shout out my boy D. He's in his band Oxymorons. They're releasing a music video, and I'm in the music video. So we were like,
Okay.
yeah. So we were hanging out the night before,
Mhm.
or the day, the other day. But yeah, I think it was either the night before. No, no, no. It was the Friday before, and the video was on. We just recorded the video on Sunday. So I hung out the Friday before, and we were talking about like our different dynamics, and he's always like, "Oh yeah, you know how to work a room." And I was like, "Yeah," and he's like, "But sometimes," and then he goes, and then he hit me with the "but sometimes," and he's like, "But sometimes you do not work the room when I expect you to work the room." And I was just like, "Yeah, because like sometimes, man, I just be like, I kind of just don't want to talk to people a lot." So I think it's yeah, I think it's definitely like you have your ebbs and flows, right? But
Mhm.
like I
Yeah.
think the whole pandemic not being like around people really had me like reset so much. So yeah, I don't know if you went through that same thing too.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely at that point I did miss people. Like I was like, I want to see other people outside of my family. Not that I don't love my family, but I want to see people outside. I miss my friends. I miss going out, hanging out, like going to the park, like,
Hmm.
all that stuff. And there were curfews sometimes, like when the pandemic first started, where I was living, there were curfews, like you had to be inside by like 11 o'clock, like OD. So
That's wild. What was I mean? Listen, I'm a Giants fan. I'm a big Giants fan. So what was it like working for the
okay.
Giants?
It was a dream. Now, if I'm being honest with you, I'm in basketball is
Hmm.
my love. So football, it was a transition, it was a curve because I knew of football, but
Hmm.
like not like depth. Like I didn't know the positions. I didn't know what they did. Like I didn't know all these things and I learned, but it was amazing. Like being there on game days at MetLife Stadium, like on the field, like it was insane.
That's
A
crazy.
dream.
I've never even been to a football
Yeah.
game.
You
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I've never been to a football game.
gotta go, man.
I've been to WrestleMania and I haven't been to a football game.
But WrestleMania is also very important.
Yeah, it was very cool. Like MetLife Stadium
I used
is
to be a big
humongous. Used to be a
It
what?
is. It is. I used to be when it was WWF before
Uh-huh.
they went to WWE,
Yeah,
back when The Rock was there, old Steve Austin, The Undertaker, Kane, like I was in it.
the good old days.
Oh,
Oh
the
man.
good old days.
The good old days. I mean, I definitely like the differences. I mean, how like cleats have just been now everybody's doing their own custom cleats and you know, I definitely I want to know like your take on like the differences of how now before there was like everything was just team colors. You had to have team colors, and now everybody can do whatever they want with their sneakers. I'm talking about basketball, football, right? So like,
Okay.
yeah, what are your thoughts on that?
I mean, I'm all for like the individual like expression. Like I
Hmm.
was with the Giants when Odell was there. So
Hmm.
Odell always had like the fire cleats. Like always had the fire cleats. So yeah, I love styling, I love fashion, I love, like the unique things. So I'm here for it. And especially if like it's an endorsed sneaker that you're like promote it.
Hmm. Right, exactly. I mean, listen, Odell Odell was wilding out with these cleats. Every single pair. I think he's the what was it? It was the shoe surgeon that he wore in the Super Bowl, like the pregame cleats, the shoe surgeon shoes.
Fire.
Wild, $50,000 on the shoes, something like that.
They
I
were
mean,
fire though.
they
They
were
were
fire.
fire.
They were fire. The were you was Victor Cruz there at the time?
Victor Cruz was around, but he wasn't playing.
Hmm. Were you? I
So
was
I
gonna.
was there 2016.
Oh, okay, okay. The because like I wanted to know what you think about those Victor Cruz shoes. I think they're slept on. I really enjoyed them.
Yeah, the air trainer.
Yeah, the Air Trainer
Are they trainers?
Cruises. I think they're
Yeah.
trainers. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
They're not my style,
Hmm.
but they have style.
They do.
I don't know if that makes sense.
I definitely think. I mean, listen, he's like part owner of like Kith, so he's coming out big time after playing with the Giants.
He's doing it up. He's everywhere, literally.
Hmm.
Like he's hosting shows, he's an analyst, like he has the shoes, he's working with kids, like he's doing it.
That's what you got to do. I mean, the whole like we've touched on your trajectory after D1 basketball. Like I think it's wild that like well not wild. I think it's a lot. I'm glad that it's a lot more a lot more common for people in sports that have a post sport career. You know, like JJ Redick is going wild. Like like a lot of these players are actually having more to do after basketball football's over. So Like,
I love to see it because there's a huge transition once you stop playing college basketball or even I don't know. I haven't played professional basketball, but
not
I can only
yet.
imagine not playing. I don't know about yet. I think I'm officially retired. I tried to go play pro and overseas, and
Uh-huh.
it wasn't my cards. But yeah, when I stopped playing college basketball, it's a transition. Like I'm not playing anymore.
Mhm.
Is this real? Wait a second. Like, and then you have to think about like what you're gonna do.
Is that
Basketball is not an option.
yeah? Is that daunting?
And then on top of that, trying to apply for jobs and you don't have enough experience. I mean, all right, what else am I supposed to do?
It's rough. I don't know because like when if you watch like Last Chance U, and like you see these kids just put like
I've seen like a few episodes.
the basketball one. You gotta watch the basketball one. It's so good.
Okay,
Yeah. The but
good.
like
Okay, I'll watch
yeah,
it.
the kids are just like putting all this effort into sports, and it's like, but like the football one shows you that the sport is taking over how much they pay attention into college, and like they'll just put their everything into the sport and not take
Right,
in the school part of it. Like
right.
I don't know. I mean, I've had this conversation with like my friends and stuff, like of just like I think about it, like, to me, like if I was on a scholarship, I probably would do the same thing. I'd probably be like, no, I just got to be good at this sport. I'll just go, like, I'll go far. uh like, I don't know.
Initially, yeah,
Yeah.
the game has changed now though.
Hmm.
With NIL, the game has changed.
Hmm.
Now college athletes are getting paid.
Yeah.
So it's a whole different ball game now. Totally different from when I was playing.
Yeah. I mean, but it's also like, because like I was looking at them recently because of there's like the two twins that play for
Miami.
yeah, in Miami, and they like have like an NIL deal with the WWE. And so I was like
Oh,
looking, yeah, it's wild, but like it's weird and wild too. But the I was looking at like the requirements to have an NIL, and there's like you got to have a 3.0 GPA. I was like, okay, this is serious, because if you don't, then you don't get none of it.
right. It's nuts. But I am glad that, college athletes can get paid now. So
Hmm.
that's good. That's what was happening when I was playing.
What would be the first pair you bought with your NIL money?
And the Space Jams.
Ooh, like the recent release? Or you talking about like 2001? Was it 2001?
About,
Nah.
I'm trying to
uh,
think. I'm not sure. But I would just want a pair because
Yeah.
growing up, I loved the movie Space Jam.
Hmm.
I was obsessed. Still to this day, know all of the words to the movie and the soundtrack. So I need a pair.
I'm trying to
So
see.
that to answer your question, I would get
I was trying to pull a Space Jam quote real quick, and I couldn't. I mean, look, Space Jams are classics. I mean,
so deep.
I've said it on here 1,000 times, but I think 11s are overrated, so I'm sorry. Oh, the animal prints. Those are cool. I like those. I like those.
These are my favorite sneakers.
Those and the velvet joints. I wanted the velvet
Which
ones.
color?
It was the both
The
colors.
blue?
I like both. I like both of
Navy
them.
blue?
The navy blue and the like burgundy colorway that they had.
Burgundy.
Yeah, but my
Yeah.
feet were too big for me to get, because that's a pair I would have gotten easily.
What size do you wear?
13.
A 13. Okay.
Hmm. So
I like a
like I didn't I because like I remember trying to see if I could get them, and I think they only went up to like 11 in men's or something like that.
oh,
So yeah, the
is it hard to find sneakers at a
uh
13?
like sneakers that I want, my number, the size 13s, it's like it's so limited run for like for so like I like so say if there's like so say like Lost and Founds, right? There you
Right.
normal stock would probably be like 10,000 pairs, whatever, right? And then when it comes to 13s, it'll be like 50. Like it'll be like everybody else, like the nines get a ton, the tens get a ton, and then you go down to
And a half.
eight and a half. Yeah, I mean, I could if I was eight and a half, I definitely would have like my whole back wall would just be crazy.
But let me tell you, the Nike factory does have all the way up to 15,
hmm
either 14 or 15. So I don't know if there's one near you, but definitely go.
I there's one. It's just like so far from me. It's near City Field, where the
Oh,
and so like I don't live anywhere near that, so it takes forever to get there. And it's in a mall. Like you have to
mhm.
like walk out of the train, walk through the projects into a mall, and then yeah, and then it's
Sounds like
usually
a trip.
yeah, it's usually like a long line too. And you have to wait for a long line. Never know what's gonna be in there. So it's like you're perusing, and it's like, and also it's not like a ton of 13s. It's like one back wall with like 13 to 15, and then you have to look through everything, and you're like, ah, there's nothing here.
I'm sorry.
It's all good. It's all good. Do you like trade sneakers with your friends or like what? How do you like? I don't know if you've done that, but like yeah, yeah.
So I'm trying to think. Um, I think that I've given away sneakers
hmm
as opposed to trading. A lot of my like closer friends, they're not like super sneakerheads.
hmm
So they'll be like, "Oh my God, Jackie, I love the kicks you have on right now," but they're not gonna go out and like get them for real
hmm
unless they really, really want to. But they're not like full on sneakerheads. So I haven't really traded with anyone.
I mean, but I was saying more giving like getting other people into
Oh,
it.
giving
So yeah,
away.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I had a good friend in college, and we were the same size, and I had a pair, I think they were like Air Force Ones that they were in love with, and I was just like, "You can have them," because I wasn't wearing them at the time. I was like, "You can have them,"
hmm
and I just gave them.
That's dope. That's dope. I love that. I think like especially when you're in this game and the culture so much, like when you slide a good friend a piece of heat or something like that, you'd be like, "See, I had you fresh."
Yes, yes. I had a friend one time she was out. Shout out to Sydney, who is the first woman in Web3 with Nike the swoosh.
hmm
This whole swoosh thing that came out. She's the first woman to co-create with Nike on that,
Oh
and I'm
snap!
so proud of her. Um, she was actually out there in Oregon, and she was like, "Yo, I see these. Do you want these? Ba da da." And I was like, "Absolutely, I want them." They were the Air Max One, the OGs, the one that came
Mm.
out, the red,
Yeah,
and
the
I
big
hadn't
bubble.
gotten them. Yes, I
hmm
hadn't gotten them yet. So she was able to like snag those for me and everything. So I've had like interactions like that, but not like trade.
hmm The what was like minus the 12s that you got? Was there another gifted pair that you were like, oh snap?
Let me think. So actually, yes. Um, have you ever heard of June Ambrose? She
June.
works with Puma. She's
No.
a designer. Okay. Well, she's super dope. She's a designer. And she has this whole collection with Puma, and she actually just had another collection that came out recently. But this was what in 2020, early 2022.
hmm
They were the Puma suedes, and they were in like this gold tan color, and they had like really thick laces, and those were gifted, and I became obsessed with them. I became so obsessed with them. I forgot the specific name. But yeah, that collection was dope by June Ambrose.
hmm
She is amazing.
I'm gonna look that up right now. She's a
Yes. It's the High Collective. I'm trying to remember. My brain
is it
is
high?
high.
Is it a high? Was it
No,
a
it's a low.
it's a low?
I can't remember the name of the collection. Oh, High Court Collective.
High Court Collect.
is the name of her collection. And it's the sneaker that went with them. It's they have legendary on them. It's a suede.
Oh, I see him. I see him.
It's a suede.
Oh, these are dope.
Yeah. I was so grateful I got gifted those. They're fire. And I love neutral colors and like tans and beiges. So
these look a little
worked out.
fluffy. They're like a little floofy.
They do look fluffy.
Yeah.
But they're comfortable.
Yeah. They're dope. I mean, Puma definitely, like, recently they did some collaborations with like old boutiques around New York. I don't know if you've seen that, but they like did one with one of my favorite boutiques, which is Extra Butter, and they
Okay, I've heard of Extra Butter.
they did like it's like a collaboration within a collaboration. So it's like with Extra Butter, and Extra Butter's collaborating with a bagel shop called Russ and something, and they did
Ooh,
like a caviar based sneaker. It was wild. It's so wild. And it was like
nice.
only friends and family can get it. Like that was it. So
Wow.
I couldn't get them. But I think the Puma Clyde is like a shoe. It's one of those like timeless shoes that I don't have a pair in my collection at all. But once they come out with like a Knicks, I think like there was one time that I almost pulled the trigger on one, and it was like this like Knicks all premium suede one that came out in like 2013, 2014 or something like that. I have to look for it. But that like I'm a diehard Knicks fan, so like that's it. I don't know if you are. I feel like New Jersey Nets.
I mean, back in the day, at the Continental Arena in Secaucus, New Jersey, or Rutherford, whatever.
uh,
We had the New Jersey Nets, and now they're in Brooklyn. Whatever. But I was a Miami Heat fan because of Dwayne Wade. He was my favorite.
Oh, interesting. I mean, as long as you didn't say Alonzo Mourning, because I still hate Alonzo Mourning to this day.
Did you hate Alonzo?
What the 2000 that Knicks series? That Knicks series with my favorite Knicks that time with Latrell, Allen Houston, like
Latrell Sprewell.
Latrell Sprewell. Those back and forths with the Heat, those like 2 years, and I'd never want like, yeah. I mean, listen, you guys,
I get you.
Yeah. I mean, you said, but okay, so then you were a Miami Heat fan and you're a Wade fan. So are you a fan of the Wades? Are you a fan of the way of Wades?
Okay, if we're being honest.
Uh-huh.
Oh. I liked when he was with Converse. In the very beginning. I believe it was Converse. I think I'm correct.
I think because he was on Jordan for a little bit, and those things were no.
No. I did like the Converse though. But when he started doing the Way of Wade, I was like, congratulations on your entrepreneurship, but I do not like them.
I mean, he's taking some risk, I think. Oh man, yeah, I remember these. These look like the Converse of Wade ones that had that like the lines and like the front. It looks like a tap shoe. Yeah, but I think like the current like Way of Wade's like he's always like trying these like like new tech on his shoes. Yeah. So it's like it's getting a little
for sure.
Yeah. It's getting a little wild.
Commendable. Very commendable.
Mm-hmm.
Just not my style.
So don't be. But listen, if you want to gift the pair to Jackie, you definitely send it her way.
Right.
She'll do some dope video content for it.
Sure. I mean, if he wants to bless me, then I will do some dope video content for it. Absolutely. But then that would be
you get a box in it, and it's just like, we heard your episode of My First Kicks. Here's a pair of way of weights, sevens or something.
Listen, I welcome it. I welcome it. If you want to bless me, I'm not gonna block my blessing. But past the content creation, I don't know what I'm gonna do with them.
Oh man, I think he's definitely trying. So I mean, shout out to him. The
Shout out to him.
I know that you listen. Kicks and looks. Let's talk about kicks and looks.
Yes.
The What made you start the hashtag, and how has it just, has it started, did it start off strong? Because I think I've had the problem with my podcast of just like, I start off the My First Kicks trend, the hashtag, and I try to make it a trend, and it's tough, and like
Right.
I want people to jump on, but like, you got your hashtag, so what's that like?
Right. So the hashtag was honestly for me.
Mhm.
And just in case like I'm somewhere or if I'm like in the middle of a deal or talking to brands, I can send them a hashtag of all of my looks so they can see how I style things and how creative I am and where my mind goes when it comes to styling sneakers. So I didn't intend for it to go viral. If it does, great.
Mhm.
But it was mainly for me and so that all of my looks are in one place. I don't know if that makes sense.
No, it does. It does. I think that like trying to make a hashtag is like so freaking hard. I think that, that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to do with this, like it's always because like it gets swallowed up. I think like hashtags totally get swallowed up, and it's just like people don't know that you're trying to like put something out that other people can jump on. So yeah, it definitely gets tough. So yeah, social media is
Yeah, the
hard.
cool thing is though, oh my God, social media is so hard. The cool
Hmm.
thing is though, um, about hashtags is that if somebody else like tries to use it or whatever, it'll say fewer than 100 or it'll say however many people have used it and stuff. And then
Hmm.
you can get, found out that way as well, or it could trend or they could hop on your trend. Like that's a cool thing about it. So I know I've tried to use hashtags for sneakers and stuff like that, and different things will come up, and then I'll search the hashtag and be like, oh, it's already here. Let me see it. And then I see the different people who are, behind the hashtag, and it's like, oh, okay, I didn't know these people even existed. This is fire. So it's gonna work in your favor. Don't worry.
I will take that note, and I'll keep it in my pocket. I won't give up. Is what I got from that.
Don't give, don't give up.
I definitely want to talk about like the community, right? So like, how has the community grabbed onto you, and brought you in, and spoken to you? Like, is there do you constantly have conversations? Like, are people helping you out? Is it just like, are we welcoming? You know what I mean? Like, I definitely want to hear about that.
I am so grateful. One of the reasons I'm very grateful for 2020 was that I did meet my community. Like
Hmm.
I met the women in kicks through Instagram. So like a lot of people like Jay, I met Jay in 2020 on Instagram and we became like we have this like soul sisters thing and I met Melissa Chanel and Key and Sydney and tons of other, women who are in the sneaker game who are also fire. So from that aspect, I feel like we are a very inviting community for sure. And like this is the first time like we've ever spoken, and we have like such a good like rapport. Like it's
Hmm.
I don't know. I feel like we're a good community. The sneaker community is a good community. Although there are a few, you know, but we'll keep it on the positive.
Yeah, yeah,
We're good.
yeah. And as Keely has said before, because she said it on her episode, dudes don't be creeps. That's it. Please.
Don't be creep. Don't be creep.
But we're dwindling down to the end of the episode, and I want to ask you the this question, and that question is, I want you, well, it's going to start off with a little scenario first. And the scenario is, I want you to think
Uh-oh.
about that. I want you to think about that time where you were about to get the Cardinal Sevens, right? They're sitting on your lap, right? I want you yourself right now to go back in time, standing behind yourself before you open that box, and what would you tell your younger self as they open that box?
Sneakers are gonna change your life, sis.
That
I don't
is
know if
fine.
that was long enough. I don't know if that was long enough for you or not, but real talk, sneakers have definitely changed my life and connected me to some of the most amazing people that I would not have met if it were not for sneakers.
Mhm. Yo, perfectly said. I tip my cap to you on that one because that's the first time I think I got that. I think that's the first time I ever gotten that. So you're in the Hall of Fame of that of ending of the ending episode part. One more time. I mean, because I feel like you didn't say where people can find you. So one more time, for
Oh
people to
my
find
God.
you. I feel like
Okay.
you didn't. Yeah.
Oh, oh yeah, I didn't. I actually didn't. Okay. So you can find me on Instagram, on TikTok, on YouTube, at the Tubby Effect, exactly how it sounds, except the effect is an E, not an A.
Hmm.
And you could be finding me soon in something that's coming out. I can't really say, but I'm very excited. It comes out in May. I'll be posting about it, so stay tuned
Yeah.
for that.
Yo, great episode. Thank you for jumping on. And for everybody out there, you know what we say each week: wear your kicks. Peace.